Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and as you guys can see by the topic, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how the narcissist is not crazy. You know, a lot of times when you come across these type of people, at least to the people that are discovering, right, who the narcissist people in their life are, right, you're caught up in confusion a lot of times because you'll get around these people, right? And sometimes you're pointing out certain narcissistic people and you're like, this person's the narcissist. This person, they're keeping me from having a relationship with this person. This person, they've been trying to sabotage me. This person has made up lies about me. They've twisted my words. This is exactly what I said, and they somehow only took bits and pieces to contribute to their side of the story, and their side of the story doesn't make any sense because why would I do any of these things? So the narcissist paints you out to be the crazy person. And at some point, some of you do go temporarily insane. And when you go temporarily insane, you need to be careful because you're a danger even to yourself, because now you're in a position where right and wrong doesn't matter anymore. Because you've been caught up with people that have been doing wrong, but smiling in your face or pretending to do good in the eyes of others. So the narcissist almost has you in this self-conflict with yourself because you feel like you're doing the right thing, right? You feel like you're doing the right thing in life, period, on how you treat other people, how the respect you give to other people, but then you see the disrespect that's given to you. You see the invasion of your privacy. You see the lies, the gossip. You see the people around you, people that you don't even know, trying to sabotage you. So you're almost conflicted because you're seeing a lot of bad people get away with things, right? You're like, wow, I just got gang stalked and fired from my job, but everyone here is stealing or doing some weird shit, being weird, right? So the narcissist will have you in a headspace where you feel like you're crazy. Maybe I'm crazy because I can't keep up with society and what society expects of me because I'm doing what's expected of me. But people are behaving and doing other things in the background. They're saying one thing, they're saying they're not this type of person, but their actions are showing something else. The environment around me is showing something else. You're seeing favoritism, you're seeing all type of things go down. So the narcissist almost has this thing about themselves where they're gaslighting you until you realize they drop that mask and you're like, there's no gaslighting me. And the narcissist is kind of like, take a look around you. The people in your life, this is where they start sharing all the things that you shared with them, and they're almost laughing at your pain. They're laughing at the things you told them in private, and you're almost shocked, right? Especially when these people are people that you were intimate with or your family. You're almost shocked because there's this very arrogant, callous look in their eyes, like they're enjoying every bit of your pain and they want to almost have you suffer more. And they're almost like, go ahead, tell other people. No one's going to help you because Certain people are going to be flying monkeys. Certain people, they're going to look at you like you're weak. Certain people, they're only going to care about their own problems. They don't really care. You know, certain people have been through the same things you've been through, but even they will look at you with some type of disgust, right? So that shit will make you go literally crazy. You'll go temporarily crazy. You will feel like you don't know who you are anymore. You might even go through stages where you're like, I guess I'm gonna be bad too. I guess I'm gonna get on that same level with people too. I guess I'm gonna start treating people how they treat me. You start seeing red flags. You start seeing certain things. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get you before you get me. Your attitude almost starts being the same for a glimpse in time, right? You might go into that situation out of anger, and you will quickly realize that that's just not who you are. You can't live with yourself living like that, even if that's how other people behave, even if that's what keeps you in the circle, if that's what keeps you around society. You become distant from these things, and it'll also make you feel like you're going insane, because you'll feel like there aren't other people like you, or you'll feel like certain people say they've been through narcissist abuse, but then they have all these toxic traits that they don't even know that are triggers, or that are disrespectful to others. So you'll start to think maybe something's wrong with me, right? You'll start feeling insane, because a lot of people will even pick the narcissist side, knowing what the narcissist is doing to you, the attacks that have been done to you, to your life, to your family's life, right? They will hit you in ways where people are almost oblivious to it, or people understand, but like I said, because they also come as victims as well. They come as people who have been through shit, that been through the same things you have, or they present themselves in an image where maybe they're going to church all the time, right? So these people will paint you like you're crazy, right? Sometimes even for dealing with the narcissist, right? And their attitude changes, because something in them demons in them come out, and they want to attack you. And with me, I remember times, right, where I would be like around the narcissist family, and his mother would be like, oh, can I borrow your car? And I'm telling the narcissist, like, why would your mother ask to borrow my car? She thinks because I'm with you, I'm here in her house visiting. Like, I got my own house, I got my own car, I got my own things. What makes her think, like, me being here, I owe her something? Like, I can leave, I'm only here because this is your family, right? But it's almost like they even have an entitlement. And this is why, I say the narcissists, they're not crazy, because I would think to myself, like, my mother would never come at you like that. If they needed a ride, or they needed help, they would say, hey, I need help. But there was this entitlement, right, that the narcissist family would do. They would do little things that, even though I come from a narcissistic family, there's just certain things that that are very low level, right? And that's where a lot of these people, they don't see they don't even see why they're at in life. They'll point the finger at other narcissists, but they don't know that there's different levels of narcissism. And some of these narcissists are so low down that it'll take them generations to just break that curse that they have in their family. Another thing that I noticed was the narcissist friend. He ended up parking his car where he was scraping against my car. And when I called him out on it, I was like, oh, let me get your insurance. And he's like, oh, okay, here, I'll give you my insurance. But you could tell he thought that I wasn't going to say anything for scraping my car. And, months later, the narcissist brother did the same thing where he parked where he was touching my bumper. So I would tell the narcissist, like, what's up with your brother? Like, what's up with your friend? Your friend and your brother did that. Your mother asked me for, what's the obsession over my car? Why does it seem like you guys want to see me down? Like the demons in their family, the demons in their friends start trying to attack you, and you think that these people are doing these things by accident, but if you call them out or the narcissist calls them out, it's almost like they'll continue to play dumb, but they know they're playing a game. They're not crazy. They'll apologize to you because they could see it in your personality that you're wondering why are they even doing this. But that's what they like, your reaction, right? And you're almost looking at these people like, are they fucking crazy? Because a lot of the things that narcissists do and say, when you're not aware of these things, it goes right over your head. But once you realize that these people, they're not crazy, they know exactly what they're doing, it's almost shocking to you because they do it right in front of your face. So maybe the old you would have kind of let that go. But once you become aware of these people, you almost can't believe it. Sometimes you might even feel sorry for the narcissist because you might even look at their family like, because a narcissist might have a lot of bad things to say about their family, right? Oh, see, my mother, she only cares if you get her stuff, if you buy her stuff. You see that they dissociate themselves a lot of times, even from the people around them. It's like they're present with them. They know how to interact with them. They know how to joke, laugh with them, and it throws people off. But there's a sinister part of them. The narcissist is sometimes aware of that sinister part in even the people around them. So a part of them, their guard is always up. But there's moments where people put their guard down and they don't know that the narcissist is almost like in competition of who can be the bigger bully, who could be more wicked than the next, right? Who's the greater demon, right? And everything is just transactional convenience to them, right? So they're not crazy. They're aware of that. This is why they're greedy. This is why they're stingy. This is why they won't put a freaking toilet roll in the bathroom. They're like, oh, I'm not putting a toilet roll in here. Oh, I'm gonna hide my juice in my drawer. No one's gonna. You start to see their possessiveness, their greediness, their like these people, they're not crazy. Some of them, you could tell it comes from survival, because certain things that you won't do, or you didn't grow up accustomed to doing, or you grew up in a table where everyone was sharing, and now you're seeing certain traits, and it doesn't necessarily mean someone is a narcissist, right? Because certain people could have just grown up in a way where they felt like that was a way to survive, and eventually they get around people, or they grow, or they mature, or they see certain things and they're like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be, right? And you see those things that they might have not seen as narcissistic traits. They start to see, hey, that's very animalistic, right? That's not being a human being. It's like being an animal, right? But what you will see with the narcissist is that they can mimic people. They're not crazy. See, they know, hey, okay, I learned this from my new supply. I can share, I can do all these things, but their narcissism, the fact that they know it's wrong, but in their mind it's not wrong because they feel like, hey, in the animal kingdom, like, emotions don't matter, family, feelings, none of that shit matters. It matters if I eat, if I have something to eat today. So I'm gonna eat first, right? And to you, you might even look at it like, okay, well, even in the animal kingdom, like, you make sure your offsprings are fed, right? And the narcissist is almost like a cannibal because they're like, I'm not going to make it, they're not going to make it, I'll eat them up, I'll destroy my own kind, right? There's going to be red flags, there's going to be glimpses and pieces of something not being right, but you can't put your finger on it, but you know that it's something that is done repetitive, and you can keep talking to the narcissist about what bothers you, what hurts you, what puts you in a deep oppression, depression, and you'll see that they'll do it again, right? You can feel like these people could destroy you to where you don't want to live anymore. I'm telling you guys, because I got to that point where now I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be around people. It was just bad, right? And the narcissist was literally told me to just delete myself. He said, just delete yourself already. But like in a very sarcastic way, right? Like, you're not going to do it. And that'll push you to want to that'll push you to the edge, to the point where this person, they're not crazy when they're saying these things to you. And it's very hurtful in that time, because you can feel so low that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have dealt with these people and probably have deleted themselves. And if you talk to some of these narcissists, they'll tell you that certain people in their life passed away. They'll tell you that certain people, their exes, were on drugs and died or overdosed. And a lot of times they're not telling you the whole story. They're not telling you that they had some parts in it, that they pushed that person to the edge. And other times they will tell you, maybe it was my fault, my ex passed away. Like, they almost know they brought a dark cloud over that person's life, because they have a clear understanding that if that person would have never met them, their life would have never ended up that way. They have a very clear understanding of that. So you're not crazy, right? This is why they don't come back. The more you understand, the more you have time to understand, they become afraid of you. And it's not even afraid of you because you're dealing with someone who doesn't feel like they're crazy. To them, they push things under the rug to the point where, yeah, they know you have a reason to hate them. They're like, oh, I know you hate me, but you're not going to do anything about it. And I'm telling you guys this from experience, because I've shared with you guys many times what happened, bits and pieces of what happened with me and my narcissistic brother. But to, repeat it and make long story short, I was very loyal, right? You become very loyal to the people around you. And what you don't even realize is that some of the people around you, you can grow up with them your whole life and still not know who you're dealing with. Meaning your sibling can act one way around you, but when they go out with their friends, they're acting in a different way, right? My brother got someone pregnant at a young age. He was older. He turned 18. The mother is basically saying she wants to press charges on him. I'm like, look, he's 18. They both went to high school together. Like, defending him, like he's going to be a good dad, whatever. He tried co-parenting. I saw him try to co-parent. The girl was very possessive. She wouldn't even let me hold the baby. So that right there made me remain loyal to my brother, right? Because I understood her side, but I also understood his side. But I also understood she was a child, So she didn't know no better that I didn't have anything to do with my brother, but I'm a reflection of him. That's how she sees it. Um, Shortly after he started, sleeping around with different women, started sleeping with a married woman, he's basically saying, like, me and her have a lot in common. She got married at a young age. I had a child at a young age. She's with someone she doesn't want to be with. She just felt obligated to be with this guy because she got pregnant young, and she's came from a religious family background. So she's having this affair with him. I'm telling him things can end up really bad and you're putting people's lives in danger. Long story short, dude ends up coming, knocking, banging on walls, banging on doors, banging on windows. He wouldn't go outside to fight him, but handed me a knife when I went out there to talk to him. He cracked the door open. When the guy left, right, the girl left, I'm telling him, hey, you're putting everyone's life in danger. This is a grown-ass man. He has a child with this woman, and you're playing with people's lives. You're playing with, he's sitting here telling me he can leave her, and basically, like, he doesn't need to be with her, like, to raise a child. He's ready to play stepdaddy right away. Like, he's not even thinking twice. Ready to play stepdaddy, but yet he's not fighting for his own child. He's missing court dates. So these people are not crazy. I'm telling him the logic in all this. There's no logic in you taking care of someone else's child, putting your life in danger. Like, if she doesn't want to be with this person, she needs to leave this person alone, because if she's sneaking around and she keeps sneaking around, things can go left, right? Oh, I'm not scared of him, this, that. I'm seeing another side to my brother. I'm like, he has no empathy at all. But I'm calling him out on it. Little do I know he's going to turn on me eventually after I defended him so much and everything. He turned on me. I questioned myself a lot of times. What did I do? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I should have minded my business, because I felt like I had to pay the consequences of what he did, and he got away with it and just like nothing, right? He wiped his hands clean from what he did to me, to that dude who ended up committing suicide after, to his own child, to the mother of his child. He just dipping out on everybody, but somehow he's a victim. When he tells the story, his life story, to other people feel sorry for him. They feel like he came from an abusive household. He made mistakes, and people tried to sabotage him because he was young and made mistakes, but he doesn't tell the whole truth. So these people play like they're crazy, but then they avoid you when you want to talk about the truth of what really happened and how you even defended them at some point. That's their whole thing. Their whole thing is, I bullied you. You're not going to do anything about it. And if you try to do something about it later, you're starting problems because I already beat you up. That's what you're dealing with. You're not crazy. And it'll make you feel crazy because you'll think to yourself, I poured into someone so much that you would think they would have some decency as a human being, right? And I remember telling the narcissist that, I'm like, if you want to be with someone else, whatever the case, but you don't even have some decency as a human being. You're sitting here telling me to delete myself. You're sitting here telling me that's a good thing that my baby died at birth. Like, you're laughing at me. You're mocking me. And that's the part that you don't understand. You almost feel like you're dealing with someone who is demonically possessed. You're looking into these people's eyes. There's like no soul there. And a part of you're rationalizing things at the same time because it's that horrible. It's that horrendous of a nightmare where you're even putting yourself in you keep putting yourself in the narcissist's shoes and their pain. So you tell yourself, maybe they're abusing me, they're talking this crazy to me. It's almost like someone being possessed and they're just like a demon just talking to you, saying crazy shit to you, right? You almost think to yourself, you keep putting yourself in the narcissist perspective, because now you've realized, this person, I'm not crazy, this person's crazy, right? So the narcissist doesn't believe they're crazy, right? Because they're kind of like, what is crazy? Oh, someone who's just like can't rationalize, out of control, angry, whatever. They're looking at it like, I can pretend to do all those things. I can do all those things. My personality is always changing. So just because I'm not doing what's expected to me, of me, to be civil with people, it doesn't necessarily make me crazy. It just means I do whatever I want to do. And I don't have to feel no type of way about it, because if you don't like it, then don't be around me. If you don't like me, if you don't, most people that don't like me, or who figure who the hell I am out within a couple of minutes or hours, they don't want nothing to do with me. So to them, they know the reason that you're around, and to them, you don't love them, because if you knew who they were, you wouldn't love them. That's how they view it. So to them, they almost have to show you, hey, I don't care about you the way you want me to care about you. It's like done on purpose. So you put yourself in the narcissist's mind, and you're like, okay, it's being done on purpose. You want me not to love you. You want me to stop feeling for you. So you'll draw back away from these people, because you're like, okay, I'm done feeling crazy. This is what you want me to feel. But what will the narcissist do? They'll premeditate how to get back with you, the lies, the promises they're gonna make, the dreams they're gonna sell you, and while they're plotting these things, they're laughing, they're joking. They know that they've triggered all your functions, and they know that you're temporarily almost insane, because you don't see through their scheme. To them, they should be you should be smarter to know you're dealing with a con artist. That's how they're viewing it. They're like, I know I look like a normal person. I know I look like what you think I look like. I know you see me as this way based on things that you know about me, but you don't know my soul. You don't know what kind of demon I got behind my eyes. You don't know you don't know that my energy is really low. And I only feel alive when I'm torturing you, when you're crying, when you see that I don't care, when I'm getting a reaction. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel like, if I can do this to you, I can do this to a big time hotshot lawyer, doctor. It makes me feel invincible. It makes me feel like, yeah, people are book smart, but I can manipulate, right? So you're drawing back because you don't want to play games with someone. You don't want to feel like you're crazy. You don't want to be gaslit. You don't want to lie to you. You might think this person's bipolar. Maybe they went through things in their life. You can see certain things that still bother them. A lot of hate that they carry. You see these things. You don't feel like these things have anything to do with you. But you don't know that this person feels like, if I don't have what I want, then I have to control the people, or then I have to get my get back with the next person. This person over here, I'm on child support. I'm on this. I'm on that. I got in trouble for this. You're going to have to pay for that. I'm going to have to feel like there's some balance in my life by getting at other people for the choices I made, because I feel like the choices I made weren't really my choices. So I'm going to be in control over everything in my life from now on, and no one is ever going to play me, because I'm going to play them first. And when people aren't playing with them, they're still playing, because that's a part of their personality. That's who they are. They're not crazy. A narcissist is not crazy, and the longer you're with them, see, for a long time, you're questioning everything. You're giving excuses, you're letting things go. You're believing the lies, you're hoping maybe they'll change. You'll see them change for other people. You're like, oh heck no, they change for someone else. What kind of BS is that? I had to pay all this shit and they just get to, no, that's not how stuff works. Because in order for you to understand who the narcissist is, you have to understand who this person is to their core. When you do things for people, you don't do it with something with intentions behind it. You don't go around, this is the thing, you don't go around making up lies about people. You don't go around trying to self-sabotage people, trying to mess with people, trying to get people fired, doing all this weird stuff narcissists do. They think because they're part of the big group, something wrong with you. You're crazy. If anything, you're crazy. The thing about being with these people is that they will drive empaths and people to go crazy and feel crazy and do and behave even like them, because that's part of their agenda, right? And meanwhile, they put on that mask and act like nothing's going on, and you're wondering, how can people do this, right? You forgive these people and you're like, maybe they're not that crazy, even though they look crazy, because they should be embarrassed about even coming around you, your family, friends. They should be embarrassed to come back around with the stuff that they do, right? But there's this arrogance in them, like, oh, this person's done. Look, they forgave me again. Look, I'm being nice right now. Everybody's looking like this person's gonna get you back again, worse, right? The narcissists, they're not crazy, Their intention is to have you emotionally invested. And now when you forgive these people, you're thinking, okay, maybe, like I said, they're going through something. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they got that streak to them, but I've seen them be gentle. I've seen them have another side to them. So it's almost like you're defending that other side, those moments where it seems like they're happy, but you don't know the meaning behind their happiness. Sometimes you don't know that they're doing trickery and all type of things with people, right? You're not connecting the dots that sometimes they're just happy, everything is going their way, supply, everything's going their way, they're scheming. Sometimes they're happy because you don't even have a clue what they're getting ready to do again. So you'll think, when you finally snap, you'll think, you'll care too much about what people think. Or sometimes when you snap, you don't care about what people think at all. And now the narcissist gets to sit back and you get to look crazy, right? Even though the whole time you were calm. You were calm and you had so many moments of distress, and you feel like you took it like a champ. And when you finally snapped, what happens? The narcissist has everyone around them fooled, and even with me, when I confronted the narcissist, everyone came running to his defense. I'm talking about his mother, his raggedy mother, raggedy sisters, raggedy baby moms, raggedy brothers, everyone that I had been so nice to, kind to for so many years coming running behind this person's defense because they felt like I should have knew better. But at the same time, this is why you have to be careful when you're young, because these narcissists, people won't feel sorry for you at all because they feel like they've seen that story play out so many times. But you'll see that people will jump to the narcissist defend, and this person was a lot of times older than you, knew better, had already been down that rodeo several times. They don't have no empathy for you because they've already went through many different relationships, right? They've already, they've already, you know, they have so many loose ends with people. So to them, that doesn't mean anything. They actually enjoy it. That's why you got to be careful, because they actually get out. They're not crazy. They didn't just target you because you're young. You know, they know you're naive. No matter how mature you think you are, no matter how much information you think you are, just because you think you're smarter than your parents or the people around you. The narcissist knows you haven't lived yet. The narcissist knows, hey, don't you know a lot of the people around you, they stayed stuck, frozen for a reason? My intention is to do the same thing to you, to the same people you're judging. You're going to end up being like one of them. You're telling me your secrets. You're telling me you want to break generational curses, and I didn't break my generational curse. I want you to be stuck in your generational curse. I don't want to see you do better than me. Some of these narcissists were way broken than you, and you felt sorry for them. You tried to give them what you thought that they wanted or they needed, or you tried to give them that stability that they felt like they probably never had. Or some of them just bragged about everything they ever had, and what you did was just not enough for them. Right? So they're not crazy when they are seeing that you've done nothing but support them, be there for them, and then now they got their family, their friends jumping down your throat. And then the narcissist is sitting there like, yeah, beat them up, beat her up. I'm gonna get my sister to beat you up. I'm gonna get my homegirl to beat you up. They're talking to you like you're from the street. Like you're for the streets. They're trying to put you in a category of what they're used to attracting, of their environment. And then because you're not taking that type of abuse, now you're weak, because you're supposed to be strong enough to withhold all that abuse and still be feminine for some reason. So they're all about the spirit of confusion, right? To make you feel like you're not good enough, to make you feel like you're crazy, like to make you feel like everything that you've done, you deserved, right? They almost, a lot of times when you leave these people, you almost feel like being with them wasn't worth what you lost while you were with them, right? And they know that, but they want you to feel like it's your fault, right? They want you to feel like it's your fault. They want you to feel how they feel. And a lot of times, right, the narcissist leaves you even more broken than what they were. And then they run away like little punks, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to run away now. And then the abuse actually intensifies. You're waiting for some fucking closure. You're like, can you at least say sorry? Because that was crazy, right? That was just crazy. Can you at least just apologize? Can you at least not make me feel like I did all this for nothing? You know, you almost... You want closure, but wanting closure would be like expecting that person to have your back even, have closure is, it's almost like expecting the narcissist to have your back later on down the line if you really need them, if you need some money or something, or you look out as a friend, or or to have someone to talk to, or to have one of those bonds that you don't need to be with that person or talk to them. You almost, to the narcissist, that's what you're expecting with closure. And that's something the narcissist, they won't give you, because they know they exploited you. So they weren't crazy, because the moment that you started to realize that you were being gaslit, the moment that you realize that the narcissist wanted you to pay more attention to your surroundings because they're right in front of you doing dirt, the moment that you realize that every time you knew something was up, or you had an intuition, or you found certain things that linked the reality of the situations that you were in, once you realize that your eyes weren't playing tricks on you, and you saw what you saw and experienced what you experienced, and you start to see that every time the narcissist opens up their big mouth, nothing but lies come out their mouth, right? When you realize this person has no real emotional intelligence, and all they do is mimic and study people, they're studying their damn selves. Just like you study yourself, the narcissist is studying their damn selves. That's why they come out, make videos. They're studying their damn selves. They've studied the empath. They know how you view them. They're not crazy. They're not, oh, I'm all of a sudden self-aware. They were self-aware while they were doing wrong. They know if they tell you they haven't really changed, their thoughts are still the same thoughts. They know they know it's wrong to say that they still haven't changed. They know it's wrong to say, hey, I don't really feel bad for the things I've done. They can tell you, hey, don't be around someone like me. Yeah, I did a lot of bad things. I shouldn't have done those things. But they don't feel like they lost anything in doing those things, because they feel like, well, I'm the one who won because I did it. I did those things and got away, and I get to speak about those things. So I'm winning. I haven't lost. So this isn't saying that these people don't get their karma, because they clearly do. They actually get their karma more than others, because certain things you go through, you have to go through lessons, right, to avoid certain type of bad karma. But because they never learn these lessons, and then by the time that they do, all they're doing, the reason they even have time and energy to even talk to you, to still even interact with people, is because they're still feeding off of somebody. So even with the bad karma, in the narcissist's mind, because the disorder is just how this person operates, right? So they might not put these things into effect because they know it's hurting themselves. But when the narcissist looks back, just like when the empath looks back, and you have to accept, what you've went through, and sometimes you don't regret certain things, the narcissist definitely doesn't have any regrets, and they'll do it all over again if they had to. So this is why I say, the narcissist, they're not crazy, because you can be temporarily insane and do something, but if the opportunity presented itself to you again, you know that that's not who you are, right? You learn from things. This person can change according to their circumstances, meaning that they can be with a new supply, and they can say, I wouldn't do that today because there's no need for me to do that in this present time at this stage of my life. But if they were to be put back in those circumstances, they would redo what they had to do to get out of those things. So their moral code hasn't changed. This is why a lot of times when they're going through bad things, their personality changes. They're back to being good because they're not crazy. And as soon as things are better or back better for them, they go back to showing you their narcissistic rage, their arrogance. They might even steal from you after all the hard work you've done to even uplift them. And this isn't to bash anyone, but I feel like people can get really confused with narcissistic channels because it'll give you some type of hope that maybe the narcissist can go into therapy and change and these things. You're not dealing with someone. Sometimes some of you even want to send like the narcissist videos and you're like, oh, listen to what this person is saying. They're describing you to a T. The narcissist does not want to hear that shit. I'm sorry. They don't. They're like, so who cares? You could sit there and tell them, hey, there's many of yous out there. You're not so special. A lot of people behave like you. They're going to look at you like there's no one like me. I don't care what you say. Yeah, a lot of people do bad things and yeah, you can label them narcissists, but they're not me. There's this self-entitlement, right? They're like, I'm not crazy. The narcissist is like, you're trying to put me in a category. I'm not in a category because there's no one like me. We're all different. When there's really no difference in a lot of these people because they don't have, even if there's some good characteristics that seem good to the eye, that seem pleasant to the eye, to their core, it's all about them, right? They're not gonna sacrifice themselves for you. And you wouldn't expect anyone to. But you know what it's like to love your children, to love the people around you, to look at the people around you suffer, and sometimes you're like, hey, I'd rather leave this world before you, as long as you get to live, as long as you get to experience things that I never experienced. You know what it's like to have strong feelings and be protective of those around you. And it'll make you also, it'll deceive you, right? Because some narcissists, what you will see is that they'll go hard for maybe their family or something. So you're like, these people, they're tormenting other people, but then they go home to their families after you've been tormenting people at the job, you've been stealing money, you've been manipulating people's perceptions on people. You've been gossiping about people, belittling people, laughing at them, and then go home and act like you're the parent of the year and go to sleep, and you sleep good at night, right? So a lot of people, you'll look at them and you're like, they get around you, they got all these crazy behaviors, but then you see them and or it's been times where even like me getting older and me transitioning and going through different stages of my life, right? Sometimes I would look at certain people because, when you're young, you're told to respect your elders. But hey, how can I respect strangers? There's strangers out here who are predators. There's strangers who are literally, want to exploit you. And, I've been deceived by people where I'm like, oh, this person looks like a sweet grandmother, and and then I come back and she didn't pay for her food and she didn't tip me or nothing, just took off. And I'm like, I thought that was a sweet grandmother, right? So there's been stages of my life where I had to be deceived by different type of people. Even if it was something as simple as, me seeing this at one of my first jobs, and different transitions that I went through, but me seeing these things is what helps me, test people by their spirit, right? So when you realize this, you're going to test people by their spirit, not what they look like, right? Not what this person can be beautiful, have a wicked spirit, right? This person can remind you of someone you're close to, family, your children. And a lot of times this would be like a weakness to me, because I would look at certain people and then they would get over on me, right? And I would be like, why would she do that to me? Why would she try to sabotage me? And why would this person try to get me fired when they have a daughter, when they have someone my age, or they have someone? I used to look at it like that, right? Then, as you get older, then you get certain people who are also very defensive, or they don't show you respect when you're someone who's very respectful towards everyone. So then you have certain people that don't respect you and you are their elder. So you start to see how there's disrespect just in society, period. You start to see that people wear masks and pretend to be one way. You start to see that the narcissist will do all these things and you'll think, oh, they're crazy. But if you bring up their child and you're like, oh, they'll bring up your children. But if you bring up their children, they're like, oh, don't talk about my kids, right? All of a sudden they get real crazy on you, and they go and start telling other people, oh, this person said, that what kind of mother am I, and this and that, bringing up my kids into this, and da 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 da. But that they said these things about you first. They spoke about you, your parenting, or your children, or they made up lies that weren't true. And the moment that you expose them, they project those same things onto you because they know it's wrong, but they don't want other people to view them as wrong. And they know certain people are going to believe you. But to the narcissist, as long as they got certain people believing them, it doesn't matter who you're trying to convince, because to them it's like, as long as certain people believe my lie, that's all I need, right? That's why flying monkeys and certain people, they're not crazy. It's done very calculated. So, for example, how I explained to you guys about my narcissistic brother, right? When he was telling his story to people, to his friends, to people that were mutual friends, family, when he shared his story, a lot of people were against what he said, because they were like, why did you even go there with her? Why did you do that? When they started questioning him, a lot of people stopped talking to him, because they were like, he was wrong for that. Like, people saw things from my point of view, how he took it too far. He took it to another level, and he was wrong in the first place, right? And I was blaming myself, because I'm like, I shouldn't have said nothing. But he was putting everyone's life in danger, right? So when he didn't get the response that he wanted from people, and when people confronted him about it, and he didn't like that people were confronting him about his actions, he decided to retell the story, but leave certain parts out. If you leave the important parts out, then of course it's easy to make me look like the bad person. But why would someone do something to you for no reason? That's the question, right? Narcissists do stuff for no reason, so it's easy for people to believe the narcissist, because they'll just say, they hated on me. It got to the point that he denied what happened so much that when I confronted him about it, he would keep lying. And I would think to myself, am I crazy? Did he not experience, were we not at the same place at the same time? Weren't we both present? The fact that a lot of people ran to the narcissist, my narcissistic brother's defense, right? People who claim to be empaths, people who claim to have been abused by men, defending this grown man, but because he's young, he's handsome, they're falling for his charm. They're defending him, right? They're defending him the same way I defended him when he crossed me and crossed his child and the mother of his child and a married woman and her husband who committed suicide. He's acting like he didn't do nothing to no one. I even got to the point where I felt mentally exhausted trying to defend myself to the people that didn't believe me, right? Thinking I'm crazy. I'm like, maybe I'm crazy because I'm expressing myself and nobody cares. Until I finally realized I'm not crazy. These people aren't playing like they're crazy. They know exactly what's going on. They know that that person's lying. The narcissist, they're not going to validate you, right? Because what they will do is that while you're sitting there feeling sorry, oh, I shouldn't have got into this fight with my sibling, or I shouldn't have got into this fight with my best friend. While you're sitting there feeling sorry, like things got heated, things shouldn't have went that far. I don't think we should still be mad at each other. We haven't spoke. That wasn't even worth it. I felt like this person was trying to belittle me. I could see how maybe they felt like I was trying to belittle them. This is just stupid, right? You might be thinking this way, but while you're thinking this way, what happens? The narcissist is already on the move. They've already told a lot of people, right? You might get into a altercation at work. It's not even an altercation, right? Maybe someone is moving your shit around or something, and you're like, hey, can you just, don't touch my things? Or someone is taking money from your register, you start, you start carrying your money around. You're like, I'm gonna take money around because then I'm getting accused for stealing. So I know I don't steal from this. So I'm gonna take this money out, and whenever anyone needs change, I'm gonna give it to them personally because everybody feels like they could just come and get my change. So now you do something like that. You're not crazy. Now you're being attacked because you're keeping you're keeping your eyes on your money. Now you're being attacked because the people that are behind closed doors narking it, and they're the same ones trying to accuse you of things are the ones doing these things, and then they all start gang stalking you, right? And they see that you're crying out for help. They see that you're trying to make sure that you're that you're covering yourself up so that you don't hear nobody's mouth accusing you of nothing. They know you're covering your trails. You're making sure everything is good. You might even think, you might even be like, oh, I stood up for myself. Like, I feel like a lot of times I might not stand up for myself, but guess what? I stood up for myself this time. I'm always working holidays. I'm always working my birthdays. I never call off. I've been working really hard. I even come and work extra shifts when other people call off. And all I'm asking is for one thing. It shouldn't be a big deal. And then you ask for that one thing, right? And a part of you is like, I know I shouldn't have asked, but I have the right to ask. I have the right to stand up for myself. And a part of me feels like, oh, but this person, I know they probably not going to like it that I said that to them, even if I said it in a nice way, right? Even if I was professional, I know they're not going to like it. I know something's going to make them mad, or, or you see that certain people around you, they're jealous. They're like, oh, why does this person get this? Why did this person get that? And they might even say you don't even work hard, right? But a lot of times you're doing the stuff that they're not doing. Everything is being documented. Everybody knows. The people higher up than them know how the extra work that they might not even know you're doing on the side, even for the people you work with, right? They might not know all the extra work you're doing. But your mind will tell you these people are going to get mad at me just because I'm getting more hours, but they're always calling off. Halloween comes, they want to go trick-or-treating. You know, right? But you already see it coming. You're like, they're gonna start, they might start saying little things. Oh, it looks really dirty in here every time I come in here. They start saying little things, and in the back of your head, maybe they're trying to imply that you're not cleaning up or something. You might say something. You might stand up for yourself, and you might even say, yeah, I know I have to keep cleaning out every time I come in here too. You might say something, but there's something brewing up. Something is coming up. People are going to start telling lies. People are going to start bringing me up. You already know people are going to start making up lies. People are going to start trying to make me look bad. And then when it finally does happen, and then you find yourself in the office having a conversation, and these people that are gang stalking you are talking to strangers and to clients, and now clients are complaining about you, or clients are favoritizing, and these people are doing it in a way where they know, hey, if I complain to the same clients, they're going to complain. I'm not even going to have to do anything. They're going to be my flying monkeys. So you feel all of it coming. People are coming up to you. Hey, is your name so-and-so? They know your name. You're like, why do these people know my name? I don't even speak. I work in the background. I don't even interact with these people. This is why I say the narcissists, they're not crazy. It's like a celebrity having a problem with someone else. And now, that person's fans are attacking that person or attacking that restaurant, leaving bad reviews for no reason. These people aren't crazy. They know that their minions and the people that they pretend like they care about, they know that those are the same people that are going to fight their battles for them majority of the time. So the narcissists, they do the things, they study the empath so well that it's almost like when you're going through something and you don't want to talk to other people, you don't want to burden other people, the narcissist is looking at you and they're like, don't you know if you burden people with your problems, it'll make them focus on your problems, and it'll deflect from their problems, and then you can control them. The narcissist looks at you like, why aren't you using your emotions to use and exploit other people? Because that's what they do. So these people aren't crazy. I had times where the narcissist would tell me, like, stop thinking about your brother and like the things that happen, because he doesn't care. Like, he really don't give a shit that he lied and he made you look bad. He doesn't care that that's affecting your relationships with the people you're close to, because the people you're close to have to love you enough to hear your side of the story anyway. So he doesn't care, right? And somehow their energies were connecting to one another behind my back, meaning that the narcissist bumped into my brother years later, and he was like, oh, I bumped into your brother. And at that time, I was more in tune with my energy, and I knew that was a red flag. It made sense, and I was right, So the narcissist will make you feel crazy for calling them out for the things they say that people have done to them, for calling them out for the things that, people have done to you, and they've said that they wouldn't do these things to you. So the moment you start to reveal to the narcissist that they're no different from other narcissists in your life, that's when they have to make you look crazy, because you've discovered who they really are. So when these people get to yelling at you, screaming at you, cussing you out, calling you names, laughing at you, mocking you, they're doing it from a place of fear. They're not crazy. When you're watching them and they're behaving crazy or crying, they're not crazy. They're playing dumb. And even if you understand that they're playing dumb, they'll just keep on acting crazy with you. And you're waiting for them to just admit who they are, reveal themselves, or just to leave in peace, right? But they don't want that. They want to make sure that they've left you feeling exploited. Is someone putting the blame? What did I do? Someone putting the blame on me about something? And then they're coming at you really nice and stuff, but hey, something's up about you. Why do you know my name? So you start to see these things happen before they happen, and then once everything starts to unravel, you almost feel hopeless. And it'll make you feel like you're crazy, but these people are crazy. And the only reason a lot of times they're even able to get to you is because you're noticing it. You're paying attention to them. You're not even saying anything to them, but they're looking at your eye movement. They see you can see through their BS. They see you're not even responding to them sometimes. When you do finally respond, it makes the hair on their arms stand up, because they've already been brewing all this hate inside of you, and now they try to say things subliminally, and then when you're on defense and your clap back is right away, now they're mad, now they're angry. Right? But you confuse them with your kindness. Because you already know they want you to act crazy. They want you to be exactly what they told other people, right? They already told other people they felt intimidated by you. They already felt these. A lot of times these people are just intimidated by you, and that's it. And they're waiting for it to get a reaction, because to them it's like, if I'm intimidated by you, you got to be more wicked than me. You can see through it. It's almost like they're projecting their shit onto you, but it's really who they are. This is why you'll see that these people will just continuously project themselves, implant themselves, force themselves in your life. So this could be, something as simple as, they're looking at your car and they're like, I should have a better car than you. I look better than you. I'm better than you. So some of these people, they hate you because they feel like you don't deserve what you have, even if it's not a lot. So it will be disguised as, oh, your car looks like it doesn't waste a lot of gas. And then they will start, giving you invasive questions that you just wouldn't ask them. Then they might give you a command. Hey, can you help me do this? Hey, can you give me that? Right? Start talking to you like you're their child, right? Then they start making up lies about you. These people aren't crazy. They know what they're doing. And then even some of them even come off charismatic. And then they act like, they move on so quickly. I've had narcissists where as soon as they meet me, they're like, hey, best friend. And I'm like, are we in high school? Like, who talks like that? And I just met you. I don't even know you. You don't know my personality. For me to even get to that level with you, I know you might feel comfortable with me, but I still have to test your spirit, because you might just be nice because you want something, or you're going to try some BS on me. And then they'll keep doing it, keep giving you that nice energy and stuff. They'll keep doing it because now they're waiting for you to give them that same energy. And then when you don't, it almost becomes almost a joke to them, because they know you secretly don't like them. They feel like you don't like me because you would have gave in already. But I'm going to still keep being fake. I'm going to still keep calling you best friend. Hopefully you'll crack. And then you never crack because they're not really doing anything to you. They're just playing mind games with you, right? They're just playing mind games with you, and they'll like you just because you can see through their BS. So then you're like, oh, I'm not crazy. These people know exactly what they're doing, exactly who they're trying. They'll come ask you invasive questions. You'll tell them, why do you want to know that? Why does it matter? You'll ask them things because now you're paying attention. Before, you probably just answered people because you probably just want to know if I live close by. It's not a big deal. They probably just, but you don't know that every question you answer, it answers a million questions to them. You're not aware of that. And then when they get over on you, you're thinking, oh, this person was goofy as hell when I met them. They were goofy. They were this. They were that. They weren't even all that. I don't even know why I gave them the time of day. Or I saw red flags. Because you didn't see them as a threat. You might have even saw certain red flags where you might have even thought they were dumb. Not dumb, but you weren't expecting them to be plotting on you. And then you were like, oh, that was a red flag. How did I let someone do this to me? How did I let someone that, behaves like they're so brilliant, like their plans were so brilliant, like they're an evil scientist, but it really wasn't that smart of a plan. The red flags were there. A lot of times you just didn't see it, or things were just too perfect. You didn't test to see if this is really who this person is. You just assumed they've been nice, they've been love bombing. You just assumed this is who they've always been, this is just who they are. But if they're that great, why aren't they with anybody else, right? Oh, because they've been played, because they were immature, because a lot of times the stories they're giving you, you realize the stories were fake. A lot of times the stuff that they tell you, they were talking about themselves. What they said other people did to them, they did those things to other people, and then you question them. You will get to the point where you will question the narcissist, and you will tell the narcissist, hey, how could you do these things to me if you claim these are things that people did to you? They're not crazy. They know exactly what they did. They knew that you were in the clouds, that you had no clue that they would do the same things. That they feel like, oh, I guess you didn't learn your lesson. Okay, keep taking me back, keep playing with your life. As long as you keep taking me back and I don't have supply and I'm not at where I want to be in life, I'm going to keep playing you until you figure it out. There's no remorse, no empathy. They're not crazy. They know it's affecting you, but they don't care. And they feel like if they don't care, it almost pulls them away from the reality of the pain that they're causing you. And for example, like I shared with you guys with my narcissistic brother, and how a lot of the women in my life were defending him, it got to a point, right, where one of my aunts was listening to my side of the story. These people aren't crazy. They know right and wrong, right? This is why I tell you they're demonic. They all stick together, and it's a lot of them. basically, after that conversation, I'm telling her certain things that I got going on, and she's trying to steer me away from my plans. So I told her, I said, I don't like that. She was pushing her plans on me. So I didn't like it, right? And then I noticed there was that disrespect where I felt like my voice wasn't being heard. Like I just said something to you and you're talking to me like I'm a child. You're repeating the same thing to me. And it worked on me when I was younger, but it's almost like I'm watching them and I'm almost like kind of shocked because I'm almost like these people don't really know me. They know who I used to be when I was younger or something, and they think I'm stupid, right? They don't realize people grow up and people go through things in life. So I'm calling her out on it. When I leave, she lied and told people that I hit her when I didn't hit her. She told people that I slapped her when I didn't slap her, but she needed to be slapped after she told that lie. And at the time, she was going through chemo because she had breast cancer. So imagine these people aren't crazy. So imagine someone going through this. They're trying to blame their lies and their crazy actions on having cancer, as if I'm not supposed to call them out on their lies because they got a health condition. So when I call her out, right, I called her out in front of everyone because I wanted everybody to know that that was very foul that she would even say something like that. So these people aren't crazy. They want to make you look bad in society, how people view you. They want to ruin your reputation, but they want to be able to keep their reputation intact, right? You're in a life and death situation, and not even in that manner do you have any empathy for the things that you do. And if I tell you, hey, my cousin and me are the same age, how would you like it? How would you like it if someone does that to your child? You get crazy because you know I don't got nobody to defend me. You know my mom's not a confrontational person, but you feel confrontational enough with me because you think nobody's going to do or say anything to you. So when I called her out, it was times where I felt like I was crazy because when I called her out, nobody said nothing. They said to let it go, right? So when confronted her, I confronted her when my family had got together to decorate my grandmother's house for Christmas because it had been like a family tradition. So they're telling me to let it go. But when she told that lie, everybody was breathing down my neck. So these people aren't crazy. They're all aware. They're all in it. And that's why I tell you guys it's demonic. Because how is it that my own brother had said so many lies about me, tried to destroy me, destroyed his own, he don't even know nothing about his daughter. Anytime he gets karma, he's always telling people, oh, don't tell her, right? As if I'm the type of person that gets off of other people's pain. That's why I say these people get their karma, but when they get their karma, they don't want other people to see it. They want you to be jealous. They want you to think that they don't pay for the things that they do. So it's not like they're not aware it's causing you pain. It's not that they're not aware that you might not be able to get back up from that pain. It's that they don't care, and they will tell you these things and you'll be shaking your head like in disbelief. Like, what do you mean? If you don't care, cool, but why do you have to hurt me? Because that's who they are to their core. So it's really crazy for you to believe that when they're out being nice to other people, that's who they are when you've seen who they are to their core. If you know you wouldn't do the things that they would do to you, and that's who you are to your core, and that's how you treat people, if you know that's not who you are to your core, then you should you should know exactly what you're dealing with. That's who they are behind closed doors. That's who they are when people can't see through them. When people just see the body and the facade, right? When they can't see the spirits in the narcissist, they can't see the spirit realm. The narcissist does not seem that scary. They seem harmless. They seem like, hey, another human being can't have control or power over my life they can't do anything that I won't allow them not to do, right? But from my experience with being around narcissistic people, as long as you're around them, shit is always going to be happening. And it'll make you feel crazy because some of these things won't have nothing to do with them. But when you leave, you realize things were happening more frequently while you were with them. I remember looking back at like one of our first dates, and it was like a double date. And as soon as we got to the mall where there was like a whole bunch of restaurants we're going to go out to eat, and I remember as soon as we parked, right, we're in the car, we took a couple of shots before going into the restaurant to eat. And then a whole bunch of security starts coming out of nowhere, like in a big line. Like they literally blocked us from even... We parked literally in the parking lot, and they blocked our car from pulling out. I've never been to the mall where there's a whole bunch of security guards pulling up behind me, preventing us from pulling back. It's like, who does that? Like, in what planet do we live in? Because I had never went through something where I'm seeing a whole bunch of security guards and they're looking like police officers because they got cars. They looked equipped, right? They look like real police officers, but just a whole bunch of security guards lined up, and basically was like, oh, you guys aren't allowed to come to be in the shopping center. You guys need to leave. And we were like, what? I was confused. I was like, what did we do? Why can't we come here? And I'm like, did you guys do something or something? Do they know you from earlier or another day or something? Why would they line up like that? And the narcissist was like, I don't know. Every time I'm with this friend, the friend that he was with, he said, stuff is always happening to us. Is weird. And then we start driving out of the mall to go to like another shopping center, and when we left the mall, right, we're going towards the freeway to go to another shopping center. So when we get to the freeway, we noticed that the security guards were all still following us in their cars, and as soon as we got to the freeway, they just made a U-turn and then they went back towards the mall. And I was like, this is crazy, right? And I never thought about it again, but until, later on, years passed by, and just so many things that happened compared to my life now. I feel like this is the first time in my life that even though it's lonely, it's way more peaceful, because there was always things like that happening, and it'll make you feel crazy because there's this negative energy on you all the time, to the point where now you start to see manifestations of it, and hey, I ain't crazy, my mind ain't playing tricks on me, this person is really wicked, there's something wicked behind this person. So all this happened, and then the narcissist, they were like, I don't know, every time I'm with this friend, things are happening. But then later on, this friend is not even around us, things are still happening. And the narcissist is like, maybe if you wouldn't have been around me, none of this would have happened. And he's like, I don't know, he'll make jokes. He's like, oh, my family lives wrong. Like, he'll say little jokes, little things, and they'll disguise these things as jokes, right? But they're not crazy. The narcissist isn't crazy. They know the spirit realm. They see the things that are manifesting in your life. They have a clear understanding that a lot of these things are coming from them. And then what's even crazier is that they'll dump that energy and make it seem like you're the ghost that's haunting them, right? Because you keep bringing reality and common sense into their life, and they're learning through you. A lot of times they're saying things, the way that they think, the way that they view people, a lot of times the things that they're doing at their jobs, a lot of times you're the one telling them, why did you do that? Don't do this. Oh, you're the one that's helping them manipulate better, and then you question why they go and move on to the next supply. But guess what? You can coach someone, right? Just like they had to sell you the game of how the narcissists play. They took information. They sold all these empaths out to pretend to be normal people. So this is like someone giving you knowledge. This is someone giving you game, right? It's like someone taking the time to acknowledge your feelings, your emotions, your viewpoints, right? Changing your life, helping you evolve spiritually. And then you shit on them and you're basically like, I could have done it all on my own. So they need normal people around them. So even if they go with a Jezebel, they need enablers, they need flying monkeys, they need people to keep influencing their thoughts, because a lot of the things that they do isn't correct or out of evil or out of greed, right? So the narcissist is the type of person that will judge someone, judge a book by its cover. And that person, right, might be in a position to do a lot for that person, change that person's life, but because their greed will take over them, they're disrespectful, they mess up a lot of good opportunities for themselves. And then when they realize this, all they manage to do is to go out and try to find someone like you to manipulate better. They're like, hey, you got that energy that person had. They're studying you. They want to know everything about you. They're like, I'm going to give you what that other person wanted because it's going to help me manipulate you better. So they could look at it like, hey, I wanted love, but I was triangulating these supplies. This time, I'm going to go for the money. I'm not gonna go and chase after a narcissist. So that Jezebel will manipulate the next guy better, because she'll say, hey, this guy, he wanted me to cook, he wanted me to be a stay-at-home girl and do all this, but I was so busy playing him that I didn't even realize that he found me out. He discovered me. He saw what was underneath the mask. So it's not that they change. They're not crazy. They need other people to correct those things. They feed off of the people around them who share their vulnerabilities with them, because then they take over and they mimic, right? You get around the Jezebel spirit, she'll act like your life was her life, right? You get around some of these narcissists, they get too deep into these movies and music, right? They'll start acting like they lived a life that they didn't even live. Sometimes they don't even like their own life. They have to go into a fantasy world of how they view themselves, where nobody else views them that way. But because you believe that people should love themselves, right? You almost don't look at the narcissist behaviors as being, you don't want to call out some of the things that they do, because to them, they'll make it, the narcissist has a way of perverting things to where they'll make it seem like you're envious of them or you don't want them to love themselves, right? But you see that the exaggeration of being lovers of themselves to the point where they could put themselves in other people's shoes. They know the right things to say to people when they are going through things. They always got the right answers. They give good advice, right? I've been around narcissists who they're having conversations with me trying to see how much information I know. So they'll go from politics to religion to spirituality. A lot of times they'll start asking you questions, and a lot of times when they see that you don't really want to answer a lot of questions, they'll just plant seeds. So when I say plant seeds, I mean they'll just start speaking about anything and everything, and their hopes is that at some point you cut them off and you start deliberating what your perception based on what they're talking about. So there's certain narcissists, right? There's certain narcissists you can see right through them, and then there's certain narcissists who are more intelligent, right? And because they're more intelligent and they're used to being around people that they feel are more easier to manipulate, anytime they come across people who become a challenge to them, meaning that person doesn't respect them because of their money or how they look, the narcissist wants to know, how come I can't manipulate you based off of my looks, because my looks get me by, so a woman can feel like, a Jezebel spirit can feel like, because most women that are around her are intimidated by her, or they feel like they're getting some type of supply by even being around her. When she comes around another female who's not a Jezebel spirit but has the same confidence and might not be as attractive but can pull the attention of people, right? She'll quickly learn, okay, this person right here, I have to get in good with them because other people respect them, even though my looks get me in there, but there's something about this person. So they'll get close to you because they want what you have. So to them, it's like, they almost want to steal bits and pieces of your personality to use it to get to supply out of someone else. So certain narcissists get around you to see your different perspectives and intelligence, to steal those things, so that when they have another a more stimulating conversation with someone else, they can bring up different points of views. So they can bring up the information that they know and bring up the information that they've learned from you. So this is why the narcissist isn't crazy. They're calculating. There's different narcissists. There's a different devil for every level, and there's different levels of narcissism, right? Most of the time, you're going to be able to see the red flags. You're going to see them up front. At some point, you're going to see them. And once you see them, there's no one seeing them. Because it's not going to get better from there. Over time, you see certain things in a boss, over time it's going to escalate. They're going to feel more comfortable around you, right? The more comfortable they feel around you, the more the abuse is going to be. So then it'll get to the point where, the empath will feel like you can't just be nice. Right, so that certain people are not going to like you and up front because they might think you're mean. You already know, but it's a way of protecting yourself. You also know there's certain narcissists that they're going to see past that, and they're going to see, oh, you isolate yourself because you're afraid of people like me. So they're going to mock you, they're going to pick on you, they're going to play with you, they're going to even try to be your friend, get close to you. Right? And you're just going to be watching everything, right? In a way that you never have before. being when you were part of that world in the Matrix, where certain things were being done and you couldn't really tell. You didn't even know when people were taking your energy. This is why you were feeling crazy a lot of times, because you didn't even know when people were taking your energy. The narcissist had you feeling crazy, right? Especially when you got people that are on their side defending them, you know. To me, it literally took me, even when you know what's going on, it's almost like a part of you doesn't want to believe it, right? I remember even having a conversation, right? I'm telling my aunt the things I'm going through, and as soon as, I'm telling her, that the narcissist was gonna call, and I'm like, when he calls, put it on speaker, because I want to know, like, how he talks to other people. How is he gonna talk to you? I want to see how he talks to you, right? So they're talking, and she's basically like, telling him, like, you guys need to stop fighting or whatnot. And the narcissist is like, yeah, I tell her, but it's like she always wants to start. And I'm someone who's very laid back and quiet. I don't like to argue, and I don't like to do anything. And I'm like, if I wasn't in a relationship with this person, I would believe this person. I would believe this person. And what was crazy about the conversation is that while he's saying these things and she's having this conversation with him, even though she knows that I clearly wanted to hear how he talks, and when the conversation was over, I'm telling her, like, that's not even him. That's not even the real him. Like, that was a mask right there, right? She's like, oh, my husband, he's a narcissist too, whatever, right? But I could tell in the midst of that conversation, no matter how much she knew, a part of her didn't really believe the narcissist to be that bad of a person, because it's not her experience, right? But if I was to defend her narcissist, she would feel defensive. She would feel like, how could you don't know this person. She would feel the same way, right? So I saw how narcissists can gaslight even the people around you, and I saw how that can make people feel crazy, because people can say they're on your side. They might even be on your side because you're blood and things like that. But trust me, as soon as the narcissist came around, the women in my family, here comes my mom giving him compliments. You're handsome. You're a very handsome guy. In my head, I'm thinking, like, don't give this person no compliments. Like, how, like, certain narcissists, even Jezebel spirits, it's like, it's better not to give them compliments, because that makes their behavior get worse. And that's why certain men, certain narcissists that even get with the Jezebel spirit, and they know it's a Jezebel spirit, they'll play games with the Jezebel spirit by making her feel like she's ugly or she's not that attractive. She feed off of her fears, right? Because that narcissist might know that this person is superficial. They're all about looks, so they might not have that emotional intelligence where they can control themselves, but they're all about their looks. So, they got nice guys that are wrapped around their finger who will do anything for them, but they will go and sleep with a narcissist because that narcissist is making them feel like they're ugly. And then here comes another narcissist who's like, oh, that's all I got to do to get the girl of my dreams. I got to treat her like crap because, oh, they like the bad guys. Oh, see, I'm being a bad guy and she likes me even though I'm being a bad guy. So that means that girls do like bad guys, and now I'm going to treat you worse. But the intention was never to be with you because of who you are. It was based off of your looks and how it was going to look to other guys to even get with you. and that person never really cared about your feelings, and that person put you in a category where they said that you were the Jezebel spirit when you weren't even the Jezebel spirit. They just put you in that category, and then when you're telling people you're being exploited, they're going to say, oh, no, I didn't exploit that person. That person's been with a lot of guys, and now they're making up lies about you, right? So that's how the narcissist works. That's how the Jezebel spirit works. That's how these people play games with one another, right? So as long as you're in that shit show, to them, they don't see their behaviors as being crazy. They're looking at it like, my feelings are constantly changing. Yeah, that person said this to me. That person is mean to me. Now I'm gonna go be with the nice guy, and oh, I don't know why I want the bad dude. I'm gonna go over there. And they play games. The Jezebel spirit, the narcissist, they play games with one another. And then they go and exploit good people and drive those people crazy. And then if you play the game that they're all playing, you're going to be stuck in that circle forever. You're going to be playing that game with narcissists and with Jezebel spirits forever. You hear me? So that's what you're dealing with. You know, they're giving them compliments. The people around you will give these people compliments. The women will be like, oh, can you help me move this? It's heavy. And the narcissist feels good. They're moving things. They're like, oh, I think your auntie likes me. I think your sister likes me. I think your mom likes me. They feel like your family might just like them for you. They might see that person as a brother-in-law. In the narcissist's mind, because they're crazy, they might think, oh, your family member is being nice to them, or they really like them, right? Sometimes, people in your family will, like I said, give them a compliment, or he's handsome, or she's a pretty girl. And the narcissist will look at that as, your uncle likes me, your auntie likes me, your daddy secretly likes me. They pervert things, right? So you're not crazy, a lot of times narcissists are into a lot of things. Sometimes even when you're intimate with these people, they'll give you bits and pieces, red flags. Sometimes the only time you ever feel like you're connected with these people is when you're intimate with them. And what you will realize is that they're so out of tune with real intimacy, right? That they'll do things that aren't normal right after, right? They'll get what they want, and they'll go back to being who they've always been. They'll roll over and act like nothing, right? Sometimes they'll even take the little bit of intimacy that they do give you. Sometimes they'll take these things away. They'll lie to you on why they're not being intimate, and they'll prey on the intimacy to make you feel crazy. And you'll feel crazy because something in your body is telling you that this isn't natural. This isn't a natural mating experience. Like, this is, it's something that's not of God. It doesn't go with, just natural human connection. It's forcing yourself on people that you might not even be attracted to, forcing yourself on people because you want something. So you're building connections with people that are unnatural. You're going online, meeting strangers, you're meeting as many supplies as you're trying to catch a fish, right? You're making unnatural connections with people, and the narcissists, they go into these connections with people knowing it's unnatural, knowing they met you in a way that it's not normal, knowing that chances are they probably chances are they probably would have never gotten with someone like you. Some of these people lie about their upbringing. They lie about their jobs. They lie about a lot of things, and they know that you might have never found them attractive if they hadn't lied to you about what they have. They know that, um, they know that, your paths would have never crossed. So they go into those situations knowing it's not going to turn out right, knowing they they only want you for one thing. They're only there to gain something. It's not about who you are. It's not about what's in your soul, your spirit. It's about, how does this make me look? What can I get from this person? It looks like this person might have a good family. They might have this, they might have that. Everything is going into that situation already feeling like that situation is going to fail anyway. And eventually it's just going to get to the point where the narcissist isn't going to feel, once they have you, they're going to feel like there's nothing to hide. I don't have to hide who I am from you anymore. And by then they've already established inhumane connection through a lot of times fornication, So that's why you have to be very careful, because you think certain people can't control you, but you open that door. You don't know when that person's going to leave. That person might never leave, never want to leave your life. And they might not want to leave your life until they're able to destroy you. So the narcissist, they're not crazy. They know exactly. A lot of times you'll look at certain things and you'll think to yourself, the narcissist is crazy. Like, you'll question some of the things that they've done, and you'll think to yourself, like, why did I fall for that? That was dumb, right? Or the narcissist was really trying to make themselves seem smart when they said this, knowing that they were wrong or they were lying. A lot of times the narcissist is playing dumb with you. So a lot of times you'll think, oh, this person's dumb. They did this, they did that. Sometimes you don't know that they're playing dumb to the point where they know you're going to think they're dumb. And to them, it's like, I don't care if I look dumb to you. I don't care if I look crazy to you. A lot of times they've normalized these things. They're leaving notes in your car. They're popping up at your job. They're leaving you emails. They're blocking you. They're having multiple phones. They're doing so many things, right? And you're giving them excuses, thinking they're bipolar or something, or maybe they're trying to change, or maybe their families didn't give them love. You want to make so many excuses for these people. But the truth of the matter is, they're not crazy. I'm telling you. Sometimes you're pointing a finger at people around you, and you're like, this person's stopping me from being close to this person. This person is manipulating this person, because you get around that person and they're telling you, I didn't say that, I didn't do that. They're telling you, oh, these people are narcissists, but you know that they're indifferent. They're not picking your side. They're still in the mix with these people. They still have ties to these people. You're not forcing them to choose. You feel like there's enough love to go around. But the worst, the saddest thing that can hurt you is that when you realize that you were fighting against a lot of people that you viewed as narcissists and who are narcissists, but you realize that you were fighting over someone who they were basically, they were the equation to why you didn't get along. They were the middle person. In reality, this person that you thought loved you or cared about you, or they seemed like they weren't picking any sides. They showed you so much love. They might have always supported you, even financially, always had your back. But you're wondering why all these haters are around, right? And the saddest thing that can happen is when you realize that that person that you were going so hard for is the reason all these other people actually hate you. And then you start to think, well, what did I do to that person? Or maybe they felt like they did more for me than I did for them. And then you're trying to prove to them you care about them. You're trying to have conversations with them. You're trying to, apologize for things that maybe you weren't aware of, right? You don't know that this person is going behind your back, making up lies about you, or telling other people they don't love you, they don't care about you that way. But when you come around them, they're like they're like that sweet grandparent. Oh, or they're acting like the parents of the year, right? They're telling you they love you. They're telling you they raised you, they loved you, they always loved you, and all these things, which confuses you. But as soon as you walk out the door, they're telling people you don't really get along, that they don't like your lifestyle, that they don't like the choices that you made, that that you're gonna end up like this, you're gonna end up like that. They're wishing bad on you, right? They're wishing bad on your relationships with people. They're basically saying you didn't do what I told you. You didn't make the moves that I told you to make. So you're going to have to live with those choices for the rest of your life. And the people that you thought were always going to be around you, I'm going to turn those people against you because I want you to know how much power I have over you just because you didn't listen to me. They couldn't just let you walk away. They couldn't just let you make the choices you made and just let it go, because it's not like you were trying to hurt them intentionally. You might have not even been aware of certain things, but these people have got their mind made up. They'll have you going in circles. They'll have you pointing at people that are just part of their game. Some of these people will kiss you, smile in your face, give you gifts, do nice things for you. And then the moment you realize it was them playing games the whole time, now they're avoiding you. Now they're telling people all the nice things they did for you. Oh, I did this for this person. I bought this person a car. I did this. They already had their stories lined up just in case you didn't do what they said they did, so that they can say, but I bought this person this. So basically, it's almost like signing a contract with the devil and realizing nothing you ever got was free, not even from the people closest to you, because they were always expecting something in return. So you realize the type of love that you got for people is not the same. And you realize you weren't crazy, right? These people made it seem like because you didn't comply with the choices that you didn't comply with their expectations, that makes you crazy, right? Or if, right, certain narcissists only respect you, even people in your family, they only respect certain people based off of how much money you make or what you got. They don't care about kindness. They don't care about knowledge. They don't care about none of that. It's all who got more than who, right? You have certain families that function this way. You didn't have to do anything to these people for them to start plotting on you. Oh, this person didn't do this. Oh, this person didn't end up being a doctor like our parents. You're not going to be on the will, right? They start making moves behind your back. They want your parents' inheritance, right? You didn't have to do nothing to these people. It's just their whole thing is, you didn't do. I was the golden child, and you were a mistake. They you didn't comply with our parent. How you weren't, you didn't become the golden child. Then you're gonna have to pay for that. And to them, they don't feel like they're crazy. They feel like it's well deserved. They're like, I'm not crazy. To you, it looks crazy. To them, they feel like, they'll treat you no different from how they would treat a stranger. So to them, it's like, don't take it personal because I would do this to a stranger too. And then if, like I said, if you bring up, oh, well, will you do that to your children? That's where you're drawing the line with the narcissist, right? Because they're like, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy, right? That's what they're trying to tell you. I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. And this is why sometimes when that a lot of times these people will act like they're victims and they'll complain about their children. They know they're programming their children to be just like them. Their children don't appreciate nothing that they do. And even though they don't appreciate nothing, what happens? They're still buying their children stuff. They're buying them video games. They're buying them stuff that they know they're not going to use. They're still spoiling them, right? Because a part of them, they're feeling like, well, I'm gonna give you the better of everything, so you could be a better manipulator than me. I'll take it. So they can go through certain things where if it looks like they're imitating what someone that would be in pain would, how they would behave, because what they do is they mimic other people. But deep down inside, they know the things that they're doing that is affecting even their own children. So to them, it's like, if they're strong enough, they'll make it through my narcissism. And if they're not strong enough, even better, I'ma just say they're crazy and get a check from them every month, and they'll just be here with me and take care of me. And now they're planning your future, taking care of them. So you're not crazy. Some of these people just used you for their own happiness, for their own amusement, for their own boredom. Some of these people, they just they're only thinking about someone taking care of them. They're not thinking of someone taking care of you. They don't have that type of unconditional love for you, because they wouldn't even put you in that situation unless you got something to gain from it. And some of these narcissists, some of them will be like, oh, I'm gonna leave you everything. But some of these people, they just literally raised you just for that. And then when you try to explain certain things to people or tell people about the narcissism in your life, your family, they're looking at you like, just forgive your parent. Just forgive them. Just forgive them. They're like that for a reason, or maybe their parents were like that, right? But there are certain narcissists who they were your ultimate downfall, because you made certain mistakes, but you could have learned from those things. But in their mind, they were helping you at the time, right? So in their mind, they could have been getting you in trouble, and in their mind, they were helping you. And then you get older and you realize a lot of those things came from them, and they put you in a bad light. And a lot of times you were reacting out of anger, your own frustrations that they never even cared to talk to you about. So you got people that are aware of these things, and then you got certain narcissists that they don't think there's anything wrong with them, because all these behaviors are normal. They see them in other people. They see them, if this narcissist comes from a poor family, they're around a supply who has more than them. They see those same characteristics, so they don't see any difference in people. And that's what makes them feel like they're not crazy, and that's what justifies the narcissist's actions. They feel like, hey, everybody's for themselves. Even when the empath is with the narcissist, even though you give them so much and feel them so much, they look at it like you just wanted someone to love you, So that validates them exploiting you, right? Um, so the narcissists, they're not crazy. I used to think this about these people. I used to think maybe they're crazy. Maybe they're not aware of what they're doing. Maybe I'm the narcissist. I went through almost every emotion dealing with these people. And then I was like, oh no, they're not crazy. Because now they're making bold-faced lies about me, and then they're avoiding me, and then when I'm confronting them, in front of the flying monkeys and people they sent my way to get to me, everybody is in on it that it's a big fat lie, but yet now I've became the enemy because I've discovered the lie. So I was going to lose regardless, because it was a lose-lose situation. So all I can do is see myself out, because it doesn't matter what these people will say about you, what lies they will make up about you. It doesn't matter if they tell people that you're an aggressor, whatever they make up about you. It don't even matter, because they had their mind made up before they even said anything, before they made up any lies. They had their mind made up. Even if they knew you would confront them about the things that they've done, they had their mind made up when they knew they were all in it, knowing that they were lying. They had their mind made up when they were aware that they wouldn't want these things to happen to them and their families. They had their mind made up. But yet these are the same people that when they're going through things, they're acting like the people that are doing things to them are crazy, or they don't deserve these things, or whatever the case is. And this is why, when you've seen that type of crazy, you're more self-conscious of when you're dealing with people that you know are temporarily insane, because you've been temporarily insane, but you also know the difference between someone who is really bat-ish crazy, right? Someone that is not going to change, because see, someone can be angry, but if you keep giving them love, eventually you're going to calm that person down, right? Eventually you're going to try to talk some sense into that person. Eventually they're going to calm down, even if they're pissed as shit, right? But the narcissist, there's no calming down the narcissist. Once they got those feelings of hate for you, once they've already decided, I'm going to lash out at you, there's no calming that person down. There's no telling that person you love them, that calm down, or, let's talk this like adults. There's no nothing there for you. It's almost like there's not a soul there, so you can see that. And when you see that, that this person is, they're not crazy, but they're crazy. They're not crazy, but they're crazy. They're not crazy enough to get caught, because a lot of the things that they don't get caught for is because they've mastered those things. It doesn't mean they're not going to get caught, because somehow the energy is always not on their side. And sometimes it's when they're always paying attention. This is why they're always paying attention, but it's when they're not paying attention, or when they think that they're going to have a good time and they're on a high. That's when their karma strikes on them, because they weren't expecting it. So that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a narcissist. You're dealing with someone who they're not crazy, but they're crazy. They're not crazy because none of the things that they feel like they do are crazy. To the normal person, it's crazy. You don't understand how someone could be this wicked. Like, there's no limit to it. But they're not crazy enough to do certain things to you because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to get in trouble. They're crazy enough to do it if they know they can get away. If they can do something and drive off and get away and say, hey, I'm going to do this, and then by the time the police gets here, I'm going to be gone, they're going to do it. So yeah, you're dealing with someone who's crazy, but they're not crazy because they're calculating. They're like, if I stay around here much longer, I'm going to end up in jail, right? So you're dealing with someone who's not crazy, but they're crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy because they'll do things that you wouldn't do, but them doing the things that you wouldn't do, to them, it doesn't define them as crazy. If that makes sense, you guys. So, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. You're not missing anything, when you're dealing with these people. You have to think about it. Even if they're treating other people better than you got to see how someone can treat someone so badly, right? You got to see the type of sacrifice that you endured to handle, to love someone who doesn't know what love is, right? You got to see how, you got to see how someone can see the value that you brought to the table and see it as not having value, yet needing you enough to stick around. So you got someone who is denying your power, but also needing your power. So that alone is crazy right there, for you to need someone so much that you're doing things that you yourself feel like you shouldn't be doing, but you don't feel like you have a choice because you don't have any energy, right? You are crazy enough to think that and then they get really delusional. Once they start getting energy from people, they become very delusional. And you can't take them out of that delusion. Because if you try to bring them down to reality, that crazy person is going to say that you're crazy and you're trying to bring them down. Even though it's through you that they even feel good about themselves. Because some of these people, you picked them up when nobody wanted them. You picked them up when they didn't have nobody around. And when these people leave your side and you don't got nobody around to bring life into you, and you're bringing life into yourself, you're bringing life into yourself, you're healing yourself, no one is around you to heal you, and you realize that maybe you would have healed a lot quicker if you had someone around to speak to, or to that understood what you were going through, or who could explain exactly what you were experiencing, what you were going through. You might have been able to see through the BS a lot quicker. You have to think about it. This person stuck around because you mirrored back onto them their own BS, the things that keep having them be discovered over and over again. And even then, the narcissist still, there comes a point I'm telling you now, there comes a point in time where the people around them are going to question them. It's only a matter of time. The longer you're with the narcissist, they'll even tell you that they'll tell you most kids don't like me. They'll tell you most people eventually don't like me. Most people eventually become jealous of me. They'll always have an excuse to why people don't like them, right? Some of these things you can relate to, right? Because they're feeding off of your fear. But some of these things are also from a personal level, right? Where people don't like them because of certain things that they do and say, right? So the narcissist, you'll see that a lot of times they'll keep certain things away. They won't share certain things with you, right? They won't share their dreams or anything with you. They'll share their failures and everything that they want you to give them good energy about. But the things that they want, their desires, their dreams, some of those things, they're sharing those things with strangers, and those people don't give a damn. The people they want to care don't care or don't believe in their dreams. And then they get mad and take it out on you. And then they tell you that you're the one that don't believe in their dreams. as an excuse because they're attracted to what doesn't want them, what makes them feel inferior. It becomes a challenge to them. And all at the same time, the same people they admire, eventually they want to destroy. And this is why some of the people they admire won't ever they won't ever allow the narcissist to get that close to them. And over time, the narcissist becomes envious, becomes jealous, and people see through that. They were testing the narcissist. Sometimes the narcissist is pretending like they don't care about what you got to bring to the table, because they learn to manipulate better. They're like, oh, I'm going to act like I'm not interested. Everything that they do is calculated. They're not crazy. They're just real evil. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe if you guys are new to my channel. And if you guys want to book a session, you guys know my booking information is always on the description. And as always, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.